Thank you, everyone who is joining us today. Welcome to the first demo day of Milkomeda Accelerator. We're talking about the batch 1 demo day, which happens thanks to the collaboration of dcSpark, of course, and also of Dlab, but overall also thanks to Fund 7 of Project Catalyst. We're going to go into the structure of what is this demo about, why we're doing this, and also have the voices of the startups, the founders, but also the team that has been behind this. We can move forward then. We're going to check the demo day agenda. So then everybody that is joining us now live or looking at this recording for the future is going to understand the structure. We're going to explain you guys what did we do, what was Milkomeda Accelerator, and what was the program about. Then we're going to move forward to have Nico Arqueros, who is a dcSpark co-founder and CEO, to also explain about Milkomeda C1 and what we're doing together with the Cardano, supporting the Cardano ecosystem. Later, we're going to move with Nick Plate, who happened to be Dlab partner and representing Dlab at this specific moment. And later, we're going to move to what everybody's here for, which is actually listen to a 3-minute pitch of our startups. We're going to start with XDAO. We're going to have then later Jed Alliance, Lemuria, and Single Finance. How the structure of it will work is that everybody can ask questions. They are written questions, and you have access to the chat. You should be able to see it, the Q&A section over here down on the screen, where you can send your questions. We're going to filter the questions to see, or maybe choose the questions, right? And since we're going to have short time, we cannot answer all the questions, but we're going to try to do our best. The questions are going to be answered live by the founder, which you're able to see now here present. But as you're going to see, the 3-minute pitch is a video, but they are here present with us. So let's move forward. What is Milkomeda Accelerator? What was this program about? This is the first time Milkomeda, which many of you know, is an layer 2 protocol that provides EVM capabilities to non-EVM blockchains. And one of the most important things for us is actually to develop and help to promote the growth of the ecosystem. In this specific case, is the Cardano ecosystem, and we're talking about Milkomeda C1. The Milkomeda Accelerator program was a 6-week program. We worked with 5 different startups. We focused strongly in working with them bi-weekly. We had OKR meetings, we had marketing meetings, we had also some support related to partnerships and understanding how they can accelerate the integration with Milkomeda C1. It was an intensive program, and we're going to see what they did and basically what they're also aiming to achieve in this demo day. But before extending on the demo itself, I would like to invite here to also speak a little more about why we're doing this and what is Milkomeda, to Nico Arqueros, who is a core contributor of Milkomeda, as many of you know, and also, I said it before, said it again, is the CEO and co-founder of dcSpark. So please, Nico, welcome and tell us more about Milkomeda C1.
Yeah, thank you, Cairo. So about Milkomeda, as you already told, but just to recap and to explain a little bit further, Milkomeda gives EVM capabilities for non-EVM blockchains, for example, like for Cardano. What do this mean actually in more like simple terms? That smart contracts and dApps that run in other blockchains like Ethereum, now they can be ported very easily. Just like just with low effort to a new blockchain like Cardano, which uses other type of technologies. Why are we doing this? Because this allows for the ecosystem of Cardano to grow bigger. And this is important because, as we know, the ecosystem are composed by different pieces. For example, we have DeFi, and through DeFi, we were able to bring more DEXs to Cardano. So we were able to bring assets that they didn't exist in Cardano, and also they're like in Milkomeda, but also in Cardano mainnet. We have seen multiple of them, for example, USDC, which is like a digital dollar. So what we are seeing now through this acceleration program, and you're going to hear more, is about DAOs, which is like a big piece of this. And also we're going to have other startups talking a little more about like what is coming in DeFi. But as we see, Milkomeda C1 already put like the base. And now with the acceleration program, we are like building upon this. And this not only benefits Milkomeda, but as I was mentioning, it also benefits Cardano itself a lot, because we have like more dApps in the entire ecosystem that are taking advantage of ADA. And also we are having like synergies of like different protocols that are like integrating with each other. So we are going to continue talking about maybe a little bit more of all the things that we want to do, but I'm going to let the next guest continue.
I guess that's me. So hi guys, I'm Nap. I'm a partner at Dlab. In case you don't know who we are, we invest in startups and projects in the Web3 and blockchain ecosystems. We're actually a sub-program of SOSV, which is a global multi-stage investor. I think one of the things that differentiates us is that we invest at the very earliest of stages of companies. So, we like to make our first investments at the pre-seed stage, sometimes as early as concept stage. We follow on over the life cycle of the company. But in addition to investing capital, we get way into the weeds with those teams, right? Working with them hand in hand to kind of work on whatever they happen to be struggling with. For some of them, that means product architecture or design or community, or sometimes it's fundraising. It's often fundraising. Sometimes a year later, they come back and ask us to help them run an accelerator program. So that's kind of novel, but actually super exciting for us. So some of the companies we've worked with in the past include API3, WeatherXM, Contango, and of course, Milkomeda. So we've had the great pleasure of knowing the dcSpark and Milkomeda team for a long time, initially through their work in the Cardano ecosystem. And they've worked really closely with us in several different ways and helped not just us, but a lot of our portfolio companies, right? They're a team that obviously ships really hard, but also understands the value of paying it forward. They're always engaged and happy to help other projects and founders, which is, I think, why they're so well situated to be in the spot that they're in now, creating an ecosystem and working with startups to build on top of that ecosystem and that tooling, right? So since we wrote our first check-in, they've made a ton of progress. The pace that they work at, as you all know, is relentless, and the engineering quality continues to be top-notch. The C1 sidechain was public far earlier than I would have personally anticipated, and right on schedule, which is pretty rare when it comes to engineering estimates. So a huge testament to the team. And now, the A1 roll-up is going into beta just mere months later. I mean, it's really impressed us. They've built some truly impressive infrastructure. But as all of you guys know, infrastructure is only as good as it is usable, right? And it's only usable in this case if it has the necessary primitives and apps, or dApps in this case, that end users actually find real value in, right? And especially given their mission, bringing EVM compatibility and composability to non-EVM layer 1 blockchains, it's important not just to have that infrastructure, that sidechain or that roll-up ready to deploy to the L1, like the real core or kernel of it, but also all that like application level goodness that really gets people transacting, gets people participating, and ultimately building new stuff on top of that, right? Like, what good would a Linux kernel be without user space, right? So that brings us to like why we're here today and why you're here today and why all these startups are here today. We're here because the Milkomeda team, they get that, right? And they wanted to design a lightweight program to help those builders build by providing resources and by providing grants, right? They asked us to work with them on it, given that we have some history working with early stage startups, and we've actually run a bunch of acceleration processes in the past. And it's been our absolute pleasure to work with Caro, Iwu, Nico, and the team to identify, to incentivize, and ultimately accelerate some of what we think are the most promising projects building on the C1 sidechain. I think that a lot of the stuff you're going to see today is going to go on to be the kind of key building blocks and dApps that make up that Milkomeda like user space. So some of the founders you'll hear from today, like they're seasoned pros. They've already deployed apps in other chains and they're in the process of porting them over, and that's great. Others are like brand new upstarts that are building on novel things specifically for Milkomeda, which is great in a completely different way. And they're all at different stages, and they have different ambitions, right? They're working on stuff as varied as DAO management and tooling, which Nico mentioned earlier, next-gen lending and yield farming, and a formally verified approach to algorithmic stablecoins, which is awesome. The one commonality that we've seen here is that Lemuria, Jed, Single Finance, and XDAO, they're all like really strong teams that are building really critical stuff that's going to help the Milkomeda ecosystem as a whole grow and expand. And that means ultimately bringing like new opportunities and experiences to the supported layer one blockchains like Cardano that Milkomeda is working to help. I think you guys will be jazzed about the stuff you're going to see. From my point of view and the point of view of my team at Dlab, it's been a real pleasure to work with all the founders here through this really short accelerator process. We're really looking forward to seeing where they go next. And that's it for me, I think. So I'm gonna shut up now and move you guys along to what you really showed up for, which is to hear from the founders of these projects. Thanks.
Thank you, Nab. So now we move forward to what we're here for. We're gonna listen to these 4 startups. Again, I'm gonna repeat, it's a 3-minute pitch, and then we're gonna have Q&A. And we're gonna start with the first one of today is actually a fully customizable DAO builder. It's XDAO. We have Egor and Suvar here, and I welcome XDAO to listen to their pitch and then invite them over to answer some questions.
Hello Milkomeda! Today we'll take a look at our very cool project, XDAO. XDAO is DAO Builder. I am a Chief Technological Officer and co-founder at XDAO. My name is Igor Gavrilov. Today I want to say you some heavy news. We completely integrated our product on Milkomeda blockchain, so we deployed all of the smart contracts and we launched our product on Milkomeda. And now you can create a DAO on Milkomeda. You can manage your funds collectively, you can vote with your friends, with your investors, with your family. So let's shortly look at our results. Now we are on 24 blockchains, and we have about 100k monthly visitors, just a couple less. We have a lot of subscribers in our social media. We got a lot of awards. We won a lot of hackathons. We got awards from Binance, Smart Chain, Near Foundation, Polygon, Tron, and of course, we received a grant from Milkomeda Foundation. That's happy news. And our main point today is to talk about DAO business on Milkomeda. So when you have a DAO is something like fund, or maybe something like traditional company transferred to a decentralized space, and you can do everything that you can do with traditional company, but in DeFi. I launched our application, connected my wallet, and I chose Milkomeda blockchain at bottom left corner, so we can see all the things. I have my account, my DAO tokens, my voting, the same as bank account, but in decentralized space with company management. Let's take a look at the process of DAO creation. Clicking on Create a DAO, choose a name, hello, DAO symbol, set up partners and shares, set up a quorum, and create a DAO. I already created my DAO on Milkomeda. This DAO is called Super Egor. And we can see all the information about this company, something like we created a page on Facebook, like something like Facebook or Twitter profile. But you can see not only the information about social media, about rules of this company, but you can see all the balances, all the quorum, and all the trades this company executed. So we can see voting, and I proposed to my company to create an LP token. So we can see this LP token with some rules to raise an investment round. We can see some features. These are rules of a company. And we can go to any module. We can interact with any module we provided to Milkomeda, and you can significantly increase your performance as a company manager using XDAO. First of all, when we are in DeFi space, the first thing you want to start with is an Dlab integration. So when you have a DeFi project, DEX or maybe lending protocol, Launchpad and others, you want to connect your DAO to this project, and you're able to do it with Connect. So you can use Connect page, and you can use any decentralized application that supports Wallet Connect. And as an infrastructure project, we also want to bring some cool features, cool business features to Milkomeda blockchain. So we are able to set up a DAO for any DeFi project. We are able, and we want to. We want to distribute a DAO model. So you can vote with any token for DAOs. You can create a DAO with your community token or just a small portion of shares of your company, and you can quickly list your tokens of a DAO on any DEX, so you can go to a public market. And in this case, we hope it will bring a lot of features to Milkomeda blockchain. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we have Egor and we have Surab here live, so I will invite you guys to jump into the screen for the Q&A session. So welcome, Surab, and welcome, Egor. Officially the Chief Administrative Officer and CTO, right? Chief Technology Officer of XDAO.
Yes, correct.
Welcome,
Hello.
guys. There I can see you.
Thanks for inviting us.
Perfect. So we have open now the Q&A session. I'm gonna repeat again how it works, just in case, so you guys can send your questions, and we're gonna select some of them. And I have also eventually have here around Nico Arqueros, who eventually will be the one that is reading the questions. So we are gonna wait a little longer to see what we can receive from the community.
Yeah, so we already have our first question. So if I have never created a DAO before, where can I learn how to do it on Milkomeda?
Okay, the best way to teach yourself on some skill is just to try to create a DAO. And the best way to interact with our users is to create a user-friendly interface. But also we provide some tutorials on YouTube. So we created video tutorials. We also created some text tutorials in our documentation, but it's just straightforward. You only need 30 seconds to create a DAO. Just choose a name, choose a symbol, set up partners and shares, and set up a quorum, and you're in the game. So you can use tutorials, or you can just go to website xdao.app and create your DAO by connecting the wallet.
So if you need some more information about creating a DAO, you should just visit our website docs.xdao.app and find the section how to create a DAO. Also, while you're using our XDAO application, you can see the small tips and just press these buttons and go to read and to see YouTube tutorials how to do this or that. Thank you.
Cool, thank you, guys. Let's see if we have any other questions. Let's see. Okay, so the next question, is there a maximum number of people who can join one of the DAOs that you have created using XDAO?
Okay, when we talk about a number of members in a DAO, let's talk about the number of holders of USDC token. So how much users can hold USDC token? Near infinite number, 10 to the power of 80. So this is much more than our universe, much more than Milky Way and Andromeda, and more than Milkomeda in the future. And the same number holds for a DAO from the technical side. So the same number as holds shares of your DAO, the same number can interact with your DAO, and we call these people as members of this DAO. Also, we provide two types of tokens, governance token and liquidity provider token. If you're a manager and if you're a vote in a DAO, you just hold this governance token. You can't pretend for money of this DAO. You're just a manager. If you're an investor, you can provide your liquidity and receive a liquidity provider token, something like crypto share from this DAO. And you're able to be an investor of this DAO. And the possible number of DAO users is unlimited.
Cool. And also, maybe to clarify, do I need to create a DAO and put all the members? I can add members along the way.
Yes. If you have a Bitcoin, for example, you can hold Bitcoin, you can transfer Bitcoin to your friends, and you can increase the number of holders of this coin. The same holds for DAO tokens. When you create a DAO, you can set up partners and shares. And when you invite your friend to this DAO, you need to pass a quorum. You need to create a voting, pass a quorum. You need to gain some accepts from your partners, and you are able to invite new friends in your DAO. The same holds for removing partners from the DAO.
Yeah, and one more clarification, GT tokens, governance tokens, they're not
transferable.
Yeah, they're not transferable. So to transfer a token to another person, you should first reach a quorum. vote executed, and only in that case, you can transfer a token to another partner. Yeah, but if you own LP tokens and you bought these LP tokens, they're fully transferable. You can list them on decentralized exchange, or you can sell it in any other way. So it's up to you.
Okay, and maybe that connects pretty well with the next question, which is, can I use my existing community token for voting in my DAO, or I'm not required to create a new one?
First of all, when you have a token, maybe you have a lot of holders, and you don't want to create an executable voting. So you don't want to execute this voting on chain because you can't control the process if you have a lot of holders of your token. So you can create an SL in a DAO, and you can provide a way for your community just to vote without any execution. And also, if you want to execute a voting, we strictly recommend you to use our setup with a governance token, because it's something like soul bound, so you can't you can transfer it. We are beating this double spending problem and other things. You are able to, but we don't recommend to do it. But for community voting without on-chain execution, this is a perfect solution. If you have a token, you can provide a way to vote with it.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I think we don't have any other questions. Let's give it a moment. I think someone is raising his hand, but is it possible that you could type your question so I can read it? Okay, so the next question. What is the plan of action, if any, in the event of a bad actor in the DAO arises?
First of all, you can't execute arbitrary transaction from the DAO side without reaching a quorum. If you have a quorum, for example, as 51%, you need to have more than a half of bad actors in your DAO. And there is nothing to do with it. If you have a lot of bad actors, you can't defend this process. But if you have one bad actor that proposes you a scam transaction, for example, he wants to transfer all the money to his personal wallet, you can just not vote in this voting. You don't have to provide a vote for every voting created on a DAO. But also, if you are invited in a new DAO that is a bad, that is scam DAO, if you are transferred your money to this DAO, if you're an investor of this DAO, what can you do? You have an LP token, you cannot vote, but you want to get your money back from this DAO. And this concept is called like rage quit in other DAO builders. We just call it LP burning process. So you can burn your shares, LP tokens, you will get rid of them, but you will receive a proportional amount of money from the DAO side. So you always, even you don't have a voting right, can exit a DAO with your money, or maybe with your profits, if a DAO raised some profits from the market.
Also, if you're a governance token holder and you see some bad actors in your DAO, you can initiate a voting and burn governance tokens from this bad actor, and then just execute to reach a quorum and kick him off.
Perfect. And also, as we know, like blockchains, like DAOs, they protect against bad actors. So it's expected that sometimes they're going to show up, but it's not going to be a problem until like they are like a big number, like you guys explained. Thank you, guys. So, Caro, how are we doing with time?
We need to move forward. We're good, but we should move forward for the second pitch of this day. Right? Okay. So thank you, Surab, thank you, Egor, thank you also, Nico. Let's move. The second one is Jed Alliance, right? Who many of you have heard about it because it's the first, they created the Jed protocol, which happened to be also the first algorithm stablecoin protocol in Cardano. Let's listen to Jed pitch and then later to Bruno.
The mission of the Jed Alliance is to bring reliable stability to the cryptocurrency industry. This mission is more important than ever today. The recent collapse of the Terra unstable coin had a cascading impact. It wiped about 50% of our industry's market cap. The demand for stablecoins is growing. In the last 2 years, the stablecoin market cap rose to more than $150 billion. This is more than 17% of the total crypto market cap. Our mission is also necessary from a philosophical point of view. If we are serious about building cryptocurrencies that are really currencies, we must address the issue of instability, because all functions of money require stability. So how do we achieve stability? We have spent the last 2 years researching and developing the first and only formally verified stablecoin protocol. This means that we have proven mathematically several stability theorems, and we have verified that these proofs are correct using automated tools. Our protocol is also empirically validated. There is a live implementation on the Ergo blockchain. Since Q1 2021, it has never traded below the peg, and it has survived all the market crashes. We are ready to grow. Solidity implementations are ready to be deployed to many EVM-compatible blockchains. Jed is simple and transparent. It can be illustrated in a single slide. In summary, Jed is non-custodial, algorithmic, it does not require any governance, and it's fully backed by an independent asset. For all these reasons, it is resistant to a Terra-style collapse. Jed's deployments can be profitable. The deployment on Ergo has been generating from $1,000 to $11,000 per day in fees. Annually, this amounts to 12.4% of the TVL. Extrapolating from Ergo and assuming a similar performance on other blockchains, we can expect total annual fees of hundreds of millions of dollars. For many reasons, Jed will have multiple deployments. This is inevitable. It's also desirable. I'm founding the Jed Alliance to promote collaboration and healthy competition among Jed deployments. This will lead to faster evolution of the protocol, and ultimately, it will give us greater stability. My name is Bruno. I'm the lead author of Jed's technical white paper, and besides me, Jed receives contributions from many people associated with the entities shown here. There are many ways to participate and contribute to our mission, and many ways to be rewarded. To know more, please contact us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bruno. And we invite you, please, to join the screen, share your screen, so that we can see you, and open the session of Q&A with Nico.
Okay, thank you, Karen.
Let's see. So everybody's invited to send their questions.
Okay, so we have our first question. So Bruno, how are you planning to improve the Jed protocol in the future?
Okay, yeah, one thing that we have learned from the experience on Ergo is that the Jed protocol is a bit sensitive to oracle delays. So I think that one area in which we could focus improvements in the future is improving the oracles themselves and also improving the resilience of the Jed protocol against oracle delays. And there might be multiple ways of doing that, right? And that's the point of the Jed Alliance as well, you know, like to allow an exploration of different ways of doing this type of improvement and also other types of improvements, right? So instead of, for example, submitting an improvement proposal and trying to convince somebody else that it's worth doing that particular improvement in that particular way that you want to do it, with the Jed Alliance, you can in principle just implement that improvement yourself and have that improvement, that deployed improvement as part of the Jed Alliance, you know, and in this way we can explore multiple different ways of improving the protocol.
Thank you. And I also have a following question. Obviously, this acceleration program is focused on Cardano, just to clarify, but the question is, alongside Milkomeda, what other chains is the Jed Alliance looking at?
Okay, yeah, the Jed Alliance is completely blockchain agnostic. So in principle, we're open to any blockchains. There are two implementations in Solidity. There's an implementation in ErgoScript. There's also an ongoing implementation in Plutus, right? And we would be open to implementations in other smart contract languages as well. I think the cooperation with Milkomeda is particularly useful because Milkomeda has this plan of expanding to other blockchains that are currently not EVM compatible, right? And provide side chains or rollups for those blockchains. So yeah, I think there's a lot of synergy between the Jed Alliance and Milkomeda because of that. But yeah, besides the Milkomeda side chains and rollups themselves, other EVM compatible chains are also a focus for the Jed Alliance, like for example, Avalanche, Polygon, BNB chain, and so on.
Cool, thank you, Bruno. And also we have another question that keep coming. So this one is interesting. If I would like to deploy a variant of Jed as part of the Jed Alliance, what do I have to do?
Okay, yeah, good question. So as you have seen in the presentation, the Jed protocol itself is zero governance, right? But the Jed Alliance probably requires some kind of governance, right? But it's also our intention to minimize governance in the Jed Alliance itself. So I would like to eventually come up with a set of very objective rules, you know, so that whoever follows those rules is automatically part of the Jed Alliance, right? Now it's a bit hard to come up with a precise set of rules, you know, and in the beginning, we need to evolve that set of rules. So I would say that for now, if you'd like to deploy a variant of Jed, just get in contact, you know, and help us to build this set of objective rules for the Jed Alliance as well. Yeah, with the goal of eventually minimizing governance also on that layer that lives on top of the deployments, right? Yeah.
Cool, thank you. And I think we're around time. Yeah.
Yes, we are. Perfect. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Bruno. Let's move to the third. Thank you, Bruno. Let's move forward to the third startup. And now we have the first yield optimizer, right? In Milkomeda. Again, many of you have heard about it, about Lemuria before. I'm going to invite this speech presentation of Lemuria is done by John. And later we're going to be joined by Nick.
Hey there. We are Lemuria Finance, a yield optimizer on the Milkomeda blockchain. We let users invest in automatically compound yield across the entire Milkomeda ecosystem from a single dApp. So the problem that we're solving is that there are tons of great yield opportunities across Milkomeda, but typical for EVMs, they're spread out against different dApps. It's great to have decentralized development, but users still need the ease of managing their investments from a single place. Lemuria delivers the solution with investment strategies for the most competitive reward opportunities on Milkomeda. We automatically compound user rewards, allowing simple set-it-and-forget-it investing that can all be managed from a single place. What sets us apart from similar services is that our users earn the majority of platform fees. That's how we can offer such competitive yield. To do this, our vaults only take a 4.2% fee from profits. 23% of that is held by the platform as its profit, and the remaining 77% is sent to our user rewards pool in the form of wrapped ADA. Users will be able to stake the Lemur token to claim their share of this WADA. Let's talk about our competitive advantage. For one, we're protocol agnostic. Our dev team can make strategies for any reward opportunity deployed to Milkomeda. This means custom strategies for DEX farms, lending positions on money markets, and margin positions on derivative platforms, just to name a few examples. We can integrate any protocol into our platform so that we become the main entry point to Milkomeda investing. Also, we grow with the entire ecosystem. Lemuria and its users benefit from any project's growth. We're not dependent on any one protocol for success. All of this actually positions us in a place to launch our own financial products as well. Since we know what new EVMs need to grow, we can deploy products that leverage our established brand and distribute rewards through our existing platform. And finally, governance. We have already created new strategies for new farming opportunities that were brought to us as requests from our community, and we're going to continue to deliver investment strategies that have the highest demand. To do all of this, we're going to leverage our experienced team. While we're not publicly doxed at the moment, we are fully doxed to the Milkomeda team. Our core, in addition to having successfully founded a previous DeFi project together, have also worked as devs on DeFi 2.0 protocols across various EVMs. We're very familiar with adding value to a new blockchain in its early days. And recently, we've also hired additional developers with senior level full stack experience. As far as our plans for growth, the great news is that our product is already up and running. People know our system is easy to use, they know they're guaranteed the highest yield, and they also see that as new projects come, we create new opportunities for them. This last part is really key because our service allows users to invest in all of the protocols on Milkomeda. We can be the entry point. And finally, we're able to follow Milkomeda wherever they deploy. They already have the Algorand testnet up and running, and we're ready for any other EVM they deploy next. We're positioned to launch and get in early, get the early market share as Milkomeda executes on its grander vision. Thank you for your attention and taking the time to learn about Lemuria Finance. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to get in touch with the email below.
Perfect. Well, we thanks John, and we invite Nick now, please, to share, open your camera and say hi to everyone. Nick from Lemuria.
Yeah, hello.
And Nico, of course, as the lead of the Q&A. Let's see what the community wants to ask.
Okay, so the first question that we have is, what type of DeFi projects you believe are the most promising?
There's a lot of different answers for that. This first kind of answer, I would say the most promising DeFi project is one that gives value to the users. Not interested, like we, as a general rule, you know, whenever we make a vault or strategy for another project, we look over the code and we make sure that there's nothing shady going on. Or if we think the tokenomics on the project just don't fit the bill, then we're not going to make a strategy for it. So for me, I'd say the first thing is a promising DeFi project brings value to its users, brings value to its token holders. The token isn't just about something that has like high APR that changes every hour, but something with real use. For example, one of the other panelists here, Bruno and the Jed Alliance, that sounds fascinating. I think that's a very promising DeFi project. Maybe it's not exactly DeFi, it's more stablecoin, but it's still a fascinating project.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's super interesting that same startups that are part of the program can connect and even collaborate, because for example, I don't know, something like really cool is that even by creating a DAO, a group of people can use Lemuria to maybe give liquidity to a specific liquidity pool that's in a specific DEX, and one of that pairs is going to be from the Jed Alliance. So it's super interesting that DeFi has this amazing thing that can compose like different primitives and protocol to create something even bigger, and that's one of the things that are like, it's really cool. Okay, so enough about what do I think, so I'm going to continue with the questions. So the next question that we have, what DeFi projects have you already integrated from the Milkomeda ecosystem?
Yeah, so we started with MusuSwap and MilkySwap. So those are both DEX AMMs. And currently we just finished launching boosted strategies for MilkySwap's. MilkySwap has like a very interesting kind of VE boost token system for its liquidity providers. So we took time to look it over and deploy correctly. And next, we're going to move on to Blueshift, which has its kind of code base. There's a lot of differences with it, but it would be technically like a fork of Balancer. So we'll have those strategies out maybe next week. I'm going to do a little more testing on it. And really, we're ready to deploy anything that comes to Milkomeda. You know, as was said before, like if there's a reward system, we could technically make a automated strategy for it. And just for me, like that's just it's very fun just to kind of get into the code, learn about other projects and see what's going on behind the scenes under the hood, and try to make it an automated system for people to make more money with. This is like that's one of the coolest things about crypto.
Yeah, exactly. And what else do we have? So for the next question we have, is there any idea of like a DAO to govern Lemuria in the future? What are your thoughts and maybe how it could look like?
So can you say that again?
Yeah, so if there is an idea to have a DAO for the governance of Lemuria, and maybe how it could look like, or your thoughts about it.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I mean, XDAO just gave an excellent presentation on some of the ease of use of creating a DAO. So from my perspective, I thought there was a lot of maybe first questions and processes to get through, but I think I may have been sold here on that the presentation by XDAO. But in any sense of governance, like Jed Alliance mentioned this too, like it's about, there's a decentralized aspect to all this, and again, that's what makes crypto. That's what makes this fun. So if we move forward with a token system, then there will be using some sort of governance, but we already kind of have a decentralized model in the sense that our users were asking us, hey, where's the vault for Bitcoin, Ethereum on MuseSwap? And we're here to listen. We're here to make a protocol for people to use. Yeah, decentralized governance is going to be a key part of that. And definitely, maybe I need to have a talk with XDAO.
That would be like super interesting. And the guys from XDAO are like doing thumbs up. So I don't see any other questions. So I think, Caro, we are like good to move to our next startup, right?
Yes, perfect. So now we're going to move to the last presentation of today, which is the leverage yield farming platform with capital protection and much more. I'm going to invite Jared there. I see it. And let's listen to Single Finance presentation.
And I would like to give you a quick introduction of our platform. So Single Finance is a cross-chain leverage yield farming platform with single-click and pseudo-market neutral strategy for our users to achieve targeted return with manageable risk. So 3 problems that we would like to solve and tackle. The first thing is that we believe yield farming users are always facing uncertain profit and loss and unmanageable risk with the impermanent loss and also the price effect. Second thing is that we believe the DeFi investment operation and the technology behind it's very complicated for people to understand. Also, we don't find a very good performance database for users to analyze the historical performance of their investment. So with that, we would like to first boost return for our users because their position is leverage, also with the auto compounding features to boost their yield. And for the risk part, I would like to mention the second point, which is hedging the price fluctuation risk by borrowing different amount of different assets, which is the core element of our pseudo market neutral strategy. Let's take an example here. So the left hand side, this is the performance of the traditional leverage yield farming. You can see the equity value of it is highly related to the price of the BTC. And with the pseudo market neutral strategy, the equity value is smoothened and not so relevant to the ups and downs of the BTC prices. And eventually you can make a greater profit with the pseudo market neutral strategy. And I would like to go into detail in the Q&A section later. So talking about risk management elements, first, the pseudo market neutral strategy itself is already a very, very good risk control measure. And also we always keep track our users portfolio in USD with the capital protection feature. And on the platform, all the smart contracts are audited by Certec, and also the platform is covered by insurance as well. So the LP time machine that we invented is a very, very detailed historical performance database for yield farmers. So it is already supporting different chains, including the Ethereum, BSC, Avalanche, and Phantom, and Chronos. So here is a quick look of how can we make profit from our daily operation, including the liquidation bounty, stop loss fee, and so on. Next, I would like to talk about the VE single, which is our governance token, allowing our users to access to exclusive strategies and other exclusive features like the coming exclusive NFT assets. Here is our tokenomic. And also here is our roadmap, which I would like to highlight this particular item, which is the auto rebalancing feature. So somehow we believe with this feature, the impermanent loss will be further minimized. Here are our investors, our founders, our extended team, and the advisors. Thank you so much, and I would like to meet you and explain into details in the upcoming Q&A section. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
Welcome now to the Q&A section. Let's see.
Okay, so the first question that we have is, can I use LP Time Machine for free?
Yes, the answer is yes. It's open to public and it's totally free to use, and there is no paid feature, so it's 100% open to the public for free.
Cool. And could you also like remind us what is like the LP Time Machine, just for like context for maybe the ones that didn't grasp that one?
Okay, sorry. You were asking to explain a little bit details about the LP Time Machine, right? The content.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I always describe it as a something like the Bloomberg from the traditional finance. So people always wonder why they are still making a loss with that high APY, and the time machine is a good place for you to find the answer. Maybe it's about the price effect, maybe it's about the impermanent loss, or maybe the yield of it is not very stable, or just only at the moment that you look at the screen, the APY is so high, but that was not the case for like maybe 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago. So if you have a chance, you can take a look at it. And in conclusion, I would say is we give you all the breakdowns, the trading fee, the price movement, the yield for a very, very long period of time. Sometimes I would say it's the majority of the pairs we keep track from since day one. It is listed on the DEXs. So yes, it's a full database of for yield farmer, and also we are adding some more features into it. For example, like if your position is leveraged, we can also help you to calculate the past performance as well.
Cool, thank you. And let's see. Yep, I have multiple ones. Okay, let's see. Do you have a formal mechanism of partnerships to integrate with new DEXs?
Okay. So I would say it's basically because we want to go for multi-chain. So currently we are on Chronos and Phantom, and then soon I think we will be on Micrometa as well. So I think in the process of that, we are going to pick the DEXs to integrate. First of all, we always consider the depth of the liquidity, because if your position is leveraged and if you want to open the position, the price slippage will be huge if the liquidity is not very thick enough. So there is no such a clear answer to how thick the liquidity should be. But if we are going to choose one of the DEXs from many DEXs on the chain, the liquidity will be one of the most important thing that we consider. And another thing is I think we will try to look in the yield, and also we would like to partner with DEXs who would like to pay out stable yield, because if the leverage yield farming position is open, and somehow if the borrowable assets, the interest, the cost will go up and down. And if the yield is not stable, it will create a lot of problem for our users. So I think that these are the two critical elements that we will consider for partnering with the DEX.
Cool, thank you. And we have two more, but I'm going to pick the one that came first. Is there a minimum amount of funds a user needs to begin using the single finance platform?
Okay, so the answer is yes, but actually it's just that we consider, because every time you open a position for a leverage yield farming, we do all the operations behind the screen for you. So or for some of the chains, the gas fee will be very high, or not very high, I would say it's comparatively higher than other chains. So the minimum amount of funds that we set is for users' own good, because at least you will have to cover the gas, and then there will be some room for you to earn profit. Take an example of, if you would like to open a pseudo market neutral strategy on Prognos, the minimum amount is $200.
Yep, and that's why sometimes like very important for like a lot of like these layer one solutions, like how much are you paying for fees to interact with the smart contracts? Because sometimes they have the market fees, so you need to, if there is a lot of people using the network, you need to pay a higher amount to be able to use it, and things get like pretty expensive pretty fast.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Yeah, it's clear that it's not coming from you guys, but actually it's like from the network itself, from like how much you need to interact with. Thank you, Jared, and I think we're good with time. Caro?
Yes, thank you, Nico. Thank you, Jared.
Thank
So
you.
now we come to, thank you. We come to the end of the demo day, but before closing, we want to also mention some important things, and thanks everyone that joined, first of all. Second, remember that this video, this recording will be in the next 24 hours, uploaded, and you will be able to share it, see it, watch it. And also, if you want to connect with any of the founders, please do so. We will email you, and if any one of you is interested in having a one-on-one conversation, we will make that happen. Personally, and also representing Milkomeda Accelerator, I'm gonna thank Egor and Suvar from XDAO, Bruno from Jed Alliance, Nick and John from Lemuria, Jared and Corbin is probably here too from Single Finance for the 6 weeks of work that we put together. We thank you also for the support and for trusting us. I'm also here, I believe, speaking for Dlab. Thank you, all of the people that made this possible. Nick, Sean, Paul, also Michael for all the support. And I'm gonna also invite, if you want to say any closing words to Nico and Nick. But before everything, I also someone that is important here to mention is Ivo, who has also been working very hard for this to happen, and Ben Marchand, who is also in the controls of this recording. Nico, please, any final thoughts or words that you would like to say?
Nick, wanna go first?
I'm good. Just want to thank everybody involved. I think Carol did a great job wrapping it. Thanks to everybody who showed up as well. Again, this is a community effort. Like it takes a lot of hands to build these ecosystems out. Everyone from users to app builders to ecosystem developers. So it's great to play a small role in the interoperable future. Thank you.
Also not want to say, I spoke a lot about the program. I just want to thank you everyone from the team, also like the acceleration program team and everyone watching. Thank you so much for joining.
Perfect. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining. And with this, we close the demo day officially and wish you the luck for all the teams that were part of it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.